Krystal and I always love to talk about how bipartisanship is alive and well. It's just alive and well in some of the worst sectors of our society and economic life. Best on display when Michelle Obama and Laura Bush raising money for the poor WHO that's just been defunded by Trump. Let's take a listen.
The spirit and courage of the American people is most evident in times of crisis. And during this difficult period of physical separation, we've never been closer. Not just in our great country, but tonight we stand with the people of the world.
Laura and I want to express our overwhelming gratitude to the medical professionals, first responders, and so many others on the front lines risking their lives on our behalf.
Well, you know, there's always, like, what were we talking about? The Ellen hug, right, with George W. Bush,
yeah.
The Michelle Obama hugging George. Like, oh, there's so much bipartisanship. It's so alive and well. And once again, this is for an event, by the way, sponsored by Global Citizen, which I can't think of something better that exemplifies how so much of our elite actually thinks about these problems. But this is to raise money for the World Health Organization. And we did a video on this.
What's wrong with that, Saagar?
What's wrong with that, right? I mean, there's such a beautiful organization. They just want to heal people, right? Well, just to give you an idea of how infiltrated and at the behest of the WHO is by the Chinese government to their propaganda, there was this moment that went viral in which a Hong Kong news organization asked the WHO about Taiwan. The guy literally pretends to hear her and then hangs up on her.
This interview is
refusing
incredible.
to acknowledge it. Let's take a listen.
The WHO considered Taiwan's membership. Hello?
I can't hear. I couldn't hear your question.
Okay, yeah. Let me repeat the question.
No, that's okay. Let's move to another one then.
Right, because I'm actually curious on talking about Taiwan as well, on Taiwan's case.
He literally just hangs up.
And then he hangs up.
And pretends he's like, oh, I didn't hear the question.
Let's just go to another one. She's like, no, let's stick with this one.
Insanity.
And why, just to spell it out, I'm sure people get this, but it's because he doesn't want to say the word Taiwan, because he doesn't want to piss off.
Can't acknowledge
the
it.
Chinese can't acknowledge it. And so he's like, I didn't hear you. Oh, let's just do another question. And then he literally hangs up the phone. Okay, what is this emblematic of? We know, of course, that according to the reporting, WHO was complicit in helping the Chinese government cover up the reality of what was unfolding on the ground. Also, according to the reporting, they were complicit in covering up exactly where the origins of this virus may be. And this is a story that we're very careful about because it's coming from basically the national security state apparatus.
Which we do not believe wholeheartedly.
Right. But, you know, credible reporters are saying that it is looking increasingly likely that the virus did actually originate in a lab where they were studying it.
Right.
Someone was infected, then infects their boyfriend, and then you go from there. And World Health Organization were out there saying, no, we don't think this is going to be a pandemic. There's no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission, all of that. And look, they do. Look, I don't want to dismiss good things that they've done around the world as well. But during this moment, that's the organization that you're raising money for. How about the Red Cross? How about Meals on Wheels? I mean, there are so many worthy organizations out there to help people who are truly, truly suffering right now. And that's who you're going to raise money for?
That's the whole thing. And again, look, I mean, I see a lot of this discussion actually coming our way. They're like, oh, it's talking about a new, it's not. You're not advocating for a new Cold War by acknowledging that the WHO acted at the behest of the Chinese and caused real harm to millions of people who were later infected,
including, by the way, their own citizens.
Yes, right.
I mean, if their own citizens were most impacted by these lies. Who they locked
up and threw in jail, and the doctor who tried to blow the whistle about coronavirus was silenced. He died
and
from
ended
coronavirus.
up dying. Yeah,
he literally died. And again, there's a lot of bipartisanship if you want to look for it. A bunch of Hollywood people and Michelle Obama and Laura Bush all fundraising for the WHO. Exactly right. Where are these, Obama administration, the working class champions? Do you see them out there fundraising for some of these families that have been destroyed? These protesters that we talked about, small businesses and so much who are not getting the relief that they need. Food bank lines literally miles long. People who thought they would never in their life have to go on the government dole.
Yeah.
This is just like the Great Depression in the way that it was, is that there's private donations and all these charitable organizations are running dry. They have nothing because there's no
Right.
money in our system. And
the need is so incredibly, dramatically higher than what they're accustomed to. With less coming in, it creates an absolute crisis situation. I'm sure they would love to have Michelle Obama or Laura Bush or any one of these people helping them to fundraise. But, and it also speaks to just whatever Trump is doing, the opposite is the thing that we're going to do. And he has that thing with vis-a-vis Obama. It's like whatever Obama did, I'm going to do the opposite, which is equally stupid, right? You have to evaluate these things on their merits. But the news media, the Democratic establishment, the sort of never Trump Republican establishment as well, of which I would put Laura Bush in as part of. Anything that he does, we're going to do the opposite. And so you end up fundraising for this very unworthy, very problematic organization during this time.
Couldn't agree more. It's great. Bipartisanship is alive, folks.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
More Rising after this.